Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Final Guys, the podcast that was nominated for Best Supporting Podcast in a Supporting Role in a Comedy or Drama, which we were pretty thrilled about, except we were hoping for the horror category. What are you going to do? This is Jack, and with me is my pal, Jason Brant. Jason, how you doing, my man?
I was doing pretty good till I was trying to figure out Hunter's computer crap.
Yeah, so right now we are dealing with the trials and tribulations of live broadcast. Hunter logged in and could not hear us, even though we could hear him. I wish we could not hear him, because that's kind of the way we like it. But so he's going to try and swap out a computer and log back in, and we'll see if we get him back. So right now it's us two, and hopefully we'll get our third wheel anytime now.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Knowing him, I'm not getting my hopes up.
Well, we'll just have to carry the load. I'll just pretend I watched a bad movie and liked it, and that'll feel like Hunter's here. Do you have drinking game rules? Because I don't.
Man, we are so far behind here.
Oh God.
Yeah, let's see here. I'm logging in to the live chat, and here we go. I got him. So, Jack, your rules are nominated jail and heist. Kev Hunters are con plus Vince plus stomp the yard. Mine are Ursula, intimidating, and smoke. And the bonus drinking words are Crashers, McBride, and Oscars. That's a lot of words.
I already said nominated in the opening, so cheers, people. And I've got me a nice little bourbon tonight, along with my usual water.
And I actually am not drinking tonight of all nights. I wish I was.
Yeah, it was a real spur of the moment. Cheers.
I have caffeinated coffee.
Nice. Well, I just whacked my microphone. You're going to have to edit that out later with a glass. All right. So this week's featured movie is Brawl in Cell Block 99, the Vince Vaughn movie that just hit Amazon Prime. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the news a little bit first, and we'll get into our movie curation. What did we watch this week with some recommendations and reviews for you. Then we'll have a spoiler-free discussion about the movie, and then at the end we'll jump into a spoilerific portion, and we'll give you a good warning if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to hear. I see Hunter is trying to log in, so let's give him a second and see if he can pull it off. And if not, then we'll just go right to the news.
I'm here.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, all right. You sound like you're in a tin can, but we'll take it.
That's the only difference. I can't plug my microphone into this fucking computer, but whatever.
All right. Well, we just did the intro and we just did the drinking rules, which
I'm done then.
Jason, what's his words? I only write down my words. I don't even look after I write it down though.
This is the worst show. Jack, no. Who am I looking for? Hunters.
Yeah.
Con, Vince, and stomp the yard.
Stomp the yard.
Stomp the yard.
Fucking Sheridan. Stomp the yard, stomp the yard, stomp the yard. There you go. You're done.
All right. So welcome to the show, Hunter.
It's good to be here.
Don't listen back to the beginning of the show because you don't want to hear what I said.
Yeah, you guys are dicks. I don't listen.
All right. Well, listen, in honor of you being back, I've got some juicy news stories for you. Are you ready? You're never ready.
If I'm ready, if drunk is being ready, I'm ready.
Yeah, what are you drinking? I got bourbon today.
I have Budweiser and Patron.
Dilly dilly.
It sounds like you're on a radio show and you're calling in, like from a cell phone going through a tunnel.
Hunter from Yonkers, you're on next.
I think that the Mets should get Beltran back as a coach or a player coach. I don't know what.
So if anyone is listening to our show for the first time, we do not typically sound like this. And we're typically not so discombobulated at the beginning, but we had a lot of issues. It's typically better, I promise.
We're really interesting.
On with the show, folks. Here's a kind of interesting piece of news. I am a fan, and I'm sure you are too, of the movie What We Do in the Shadows. Would that be true?
That is true.
Well, Taika Waititi and Jermaine Clement the two main dudes. Jermaine is from Flight of the Conchords. They were both in the movie. They are behind a FX reboot as a TV show that's going to happen. I don't know when it's going to happen, but they have actually. Waititi's going to direct and executive produce. Clement's going to write and executive produce. They have already casted people in this. Let me see if I can find the cast. Kaivan Novak, Matt Berry, Natasha Dembrova, Henry
Well said.
Guyan. Somebody on Twitter was very happy about Matt Berry. Apparently, he's been in stuff. So,
I don't know what that is.
I'm very curious to see what they do with this, because if these guys are behind it, writing it, producing it, they're going to put out a good product. And that, the day in the life of vampires, and all the other supernatural, the werewolves, swearwolves, I think this could be brilliant. So I'm really psyched about this. How do you feel about it?
I think it'll be a shit ton of fun. You will laugh. At the very least, you will laugh. So,
which channel did you say?
It's going to be on FX.
I'm looking forward to it.
I mean, Taika Waititi was behind Thor Ragnarok, and my God, if I wasn't laughing every other minute in that movie, my God, it was awesome. So I'm really psyched about this.
That's cool.
And I love vampires, so these guys did it right. So now, when you think about horror comedy, those two guys come to mind, but there's another couple of guys that also come to mind. Nick Frost and Simon Pegg, the dudes behind Shaun of the Dead.
Mm-hmm.
So it turns out that they've got a TV series in development right now called Truth Seekers. Although it is not, it's being shopped right now for distribution. It may end up on Stars, but they're too soon to tell, they say. Here's a synopsis. Each episode is going to be an adventure, a potential haunting, or something. It'll start with a very parochial idea, a very small business venture for these people, but it'll expand as the series go on to be something far more global. It's a language everyone understands, the mystery of the unknown. Shaun of the Dead was a very parochial story in North London. Somehow it manages to set off this global reach because everyone understands the language of zombie movies. Sign me the hell up for this too. This is such good news.
Yeah, those guys are the balls. They know what they're doing. That should be. Wow, we have a lot of fun horror comedy coming our way. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, like when these are like the starting lineups, like so having these guys write it and direct it and produce.
If they can dig up Abbott and Costello, then we are set.
It's
chick.
So that can't happen fast enough for me. And it's so funny because with so many platforms now, there's such a fight for land grab for viewers that they just have to keep putting out content. And so genre fans like us, I think, are winning because they're finding out that the horror and / larger genre community in general is bigger and more powerful than maybe they thought.
Yep.
Actually, that brings me to the next piece of news. Did you hear the Academy Award nominations that came out this morning?
Here's the amazing thing. I could wipe my ass with the Oscars or any award show, which is just masturbation for the fucking schmucks in Hollywood. But this is huge, huge news. Enormous.
Let me just go down the nominated movies and I think we'll know the ones that we're going to talk about. Call Me By Your Name. I have no interest in seeing that movie. Darkest Hour and Dunkirk, both concerning World War II, and the Battle of Dunkirk, both great movies. Lady Bird, which is getting a lot of reviews. I saw it. Didn't think it was as great as everybody was talking about, but good performances. The Post, Steven Spielberg, overhyped. Good actors. Spielberg puts out good movies all the time, but kind of pedestrian for him, in my opinion. But great actors.
Meryl Streep. Fuck Meryl Streep. Next.
Something called Get Out.
Mm.
And another one called The Shape of Water.
You mean those faux horror movies?
This is amazing.
What fills it out? 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri, and
which should win.
The Phantom Thread, which is
The Phantom Thread is the most dreadful looking movie I have ever seen a coming attraction for it. Ever.
Me and some friends of mine do a kind of a movie club thing where we try and see as many of the nominated movies as we can. And I have no interest in Call Me by Your Name or The Phantom Thread. Both of them. I was like, look, I like to stretch my boundaries and go see some different things. Both of those, somebody's going to have to come out of that movie and be like, no, this is the best because.
And then I would defriend that person.
Well, the funny thing is that as we like to call them normies, now they've all got to go watch Shape of Water and Get Out. And I can't wait to see what they think of those because, for me, I'm like, oh my God, I'm rooting for Get Out. And if it doesn't win, then I'm rooting for Shape of Water or Dunkirk or Darkest Hour. Like, I bet none of the movies I love are going to win, but I got like 4 horses in this race.
I can't remember ever having a horror movie.
Silence of the Lambs, man.
And I don't even consider that a horror movie. That's like a thriller to me. These two movies, this horror, but these are more entrenched.
This is huge because it brings so much attention to the genre. So like it making a ton of money and Get Out making a ton of money helps us get more movies. And these things getting nominated helps us get more horror movies. So bring it on.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if Get Out or Shape of Water actually won?
Never.
If this trend continued, we don't have to call ourselves normies and everyone else the weirdos.
Yeah, no, we don't want that to happen. It's going to be 3 billboards outside Ebbings, Missouri, which was fucking phenomenal.
I want to see that. I got a feeling Lady Bird's going to win because it's got the kind of mass appeal that the Academy people will go for. Look, great performances in it too, but I got to see 3 billboards. Like the cast in that movie is outstanding.
You'll love that movie.
Did you see Dunkirk?
I did.
Yeah,
Dunkirk's phenomenal.
You got to see Dunkirk and Darkest Hour. You should watch those in a row. Like they go perfectly well together. All right, my last piece of news. Oh, so you know how they've been saying that the Dark Universe is probably dead.
I hope.
Well, beep, beep. There's still a heartbeat. Omega Underground is reporting that full production teams have been officially hired for The Bride of Frankenstein. And this is a rumor. So this is not confirmed. This is the rumor that Angelina Jolie is going to be replaced by Gal Gadot.
Are they going to use the actual body parts of Elsa Lanchester? Could they dig her up and just graft her on?
Gal Gadot is one of those it girls now. So you put her in something as the magic potion for making something a hit. So
I thought there was the rumor Jason Blum was going to take this over.
I know that was our wish list, but
I thought that was a rumor there for a while. Oh, never mind.
There's nothing of that. This could be a total rumor and never happen. I don't even know how I feel about her as the Bride of Frankenstein. But
Jack, who reported this? I'd never heard of this thing.
The website that I got it from was sourcing Omega Underground, which I don't know who that is. I thought it was a good conversation because, Angelina Jolie can pretty much pull off anything that she gets in. And can Gal Gadot do?
I know, because she'll be in a movie for 3 minutes, as well as Elsa Lanchester.
Did you see Keeping Up with the Joneses?
Mm-hmm.
The lingerie scene is one of the greatest things ever filmed, but
Look, I watch Gal Gadot in anything.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's perfect bait for people to go see a Dark Universe movie.
If they roll a Tubby Russell Crowe into this movie, I will walk out the minute I see him walk in.
Maybe they'll make Chris Pine as Frankenstein's monster because they had such good chemistry.
Give me as much Pinus as you can handle.
They're just redoing Wonder Woman, but calling it Bride of Frankenstein.
Yes.
Yeah. Wonderstein.
From the island of Frankenstein.
I'm a Jewish accountant. I'm Wonderstein.
So that is all the news that's fit to print, or all the news that I bothered to gather.
Well, Well, I got one thing.
Go for it.
Super pumped me up, and I'm not sure if it's real. But on his Twitter, my boy Joe Bob Briggs said that Shudder is interested in bringing back Monster Vision, and I'm what? But he said he needs video testimonials from fans or something. But then the way he worded it and the image he put on the tweet made me wonder if the whole thing was like a joke or not. So
was it for new episodes or to show reruns?
Like a new show. Yeah. Ooh. So, and that would be a perfect fit for Shudder, particularly if you could have him helping to curate. I mean, that would be incredible. That guy knows movies like no one else. So stay tuned. I don't know if it's real or not, but if it is, I'll send in 1 million video testimonials. Put on wigs and fake mustaches
all day long. You're just typing all day.
It'd just be my book covers in the background like this in each one.
That'd be awesome.
So let's hope.
Okay, with that, why don't we move to our "What Did We Watch" segment? Who would like to go first?
How about the guy? No, Jason doesn't want to, so I'll go. Here, because Jason has to edit the audio on these. Let me get my piece of paper.
Yeah, I can already tell I'm going to be up all night working on this damn thing.
I am not touching my fucking keyboard there, mister. That's it. Nothing. All right. I actually had a very good weekend because I was catching up on some of the movies you guys have seen. So I watched 2 phenomenal movies and 1 movie that was but better. In the words of Bradley in our movie we're reviewing tonight, it was, what did he say? It was south of okay and north of cancer. So I will start with Amityville: The Awakening.
Oh, is that the Bella? What's her name?
Bella Thorne.
Bella Thorne.
You remember from The Babysitter, whose boob was shot. This, when I watched it, I go, she looks a lot younger in this, but I forgot it was shot in 2014, and then just scuttled around. This is supposed to be a Blumhouse production, and it's a mess.
I can't wait to hear about this because I almost pulled the trigger on it the other day, and then I went to something else instead. I
got it in Redbox, so it cost me $1.50. You know, can't beat that. Bella Thorne is in every scene except 1 in this entire movie. So the whole movie hinges on this Disney star turned trampy Instagram star girl. And it actually isn't as bad as they say. It has Jennifer Jason Leigh. She plays her mother. And it has Kurtwood Smith. He's from, remember that 70s show, Red?
Oh, yeah.
Calling everyone a dumbass. So he's in it for a little while. It's a very meta movie. So they move into the Amityville house, and then when Bella Thorne's in school, her friends like going, "Dude, you're in the Amityville house. Have you ever read the book by Jay Anson?" They watch Amityville Horror in the house.
Oh, one of those.
It's very self-aware of what it is.
This is like Blair Witch 2, where Blair Witch is a movie. Oh,
yes.
Don't speak of Blair Witch 2.
No, the whole thing is about her. Bella's twin brother he looks like Zelda from Pet Sematary, and he's
not an identical twin.
Yeah, no, not at all. So Jennifer Jason Leigh is obsessed with keeping him alive. He looks disgusting, and it's the evil in the house is making him well, but also making him evil. It's dumb, but for a Friday afternoon, it actually wasn't that bad. And there's a good 15-minute spell where Bella Thorne is in tiny little panties that ride up her ass that they close up on every chance they get going up and down through the house. I'm like, all right, it's fine. So it's not as bad as everybody has said it is. It's not good, but it's better than a lot of I think there's something like 18 Amityville movies at this point, if you include documentaries.
There's something else on like Shudder or one of those that's like the Amityville Terror or something. It's a total ripoff of it. That I watched a trailer for.
Go
ahead.
It was supposed to be a found footage movie. The original title was Amityville: The Lost Tapes.
Oh God.
That was Blumhouse's idea.
We need a category for, because this happens to me all the time, and you guys too. There's like the purely great movie, and then there's like the shitty movie that we like because we're horror fans.
Right.
It's like we got to figure out the.
This fell into it's Saturday afternoon. I don't want to move. Jason will love this. I looked up the box office for this. It made $742 on the opening weekend.
Wow, Bad Ben made more than that probably.
Man.
142, which I will save this for later, is not much more than the total box office for our featured movie tonight. You'll be shocked at what this movie made when it was in theaters.
Well, some of these come out in just one theater so that they can say
Yeah.
they got a theatrical release. So it's probably a one theater take on one night.
Amityville came out in 10 theaters.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Never mind.
Really bad. The other movie I watched was Happy Death Day, which as soon as it became available, I'm like, I gotta watch this. I freaking love this movie.
Isn't it great?
I love this movie so much. I went back, I redid my 2017 list, and then I said, instead of putting it in the mix, I gave it its own section, honorable mention, which means it could probably be my top 10. I don't know. If you like Final Girls, you'll like this movie. Believe it or not, this movie made $115 million worldwide for a $4 million budget.
My God.
And this is a movie that came and went in the theaters. It was here and gone in a week. It's Groundhog Day mixed with a slasher movie, mixed with a comedy. I thought it was awesome. I think what's her name? Jessica Roth or something, as Tree. I thought she was phenomenal. I could have watched her all day long. Jack, I know she's your type.
She was okay with me.
Originally, I'll tell you guys this. I looked this up. The ending was after she killed the girl who was doing all this crap to her. She ends up in the hospital, and the doctor she was having the affair with, his wife kills her in the hospital. That was the original ending. But it didn't test well, so they redid the ending for it, which I'm grateful they redid it. Did you guys know that it's directed by Chris Landon, Michael Landon's son?
I did not know that.
I did not.
Yes. He is also the writer of half of the Paranormal Activity movies.
They had writers?
Well, once you got past the first, then it became a studio thing, and then they were writing shit. So.
The thing that they didn't really tell you in the trailer was that this was sort of a loving tribute to like 90s horror movies.
And Groundhog Day.
And Groundhog Day, which they don't hide from.
Yeah. I thought it was a lot.
I have never gone from a trailer that turned me off more. It's the complete opposite of It Comes at Night.
Right.
For me, I hated the trailer for this movie, and I love the movie. I love the trailer for Comes at Night, and then I saw the movie like, what was that?
One of you guys said if you love Final Girls, you'll love this, and that is a perfect correlation. Because
I actually think this is better than Final Girls.
So do I.
And I liked Final Girls a lot.
I think Final Girls is a little better, but it's 1A, 1B as far as I'm concerned. I think they're both great. And then the other movie I watched is Super Dark Times.
Nice.
Which was filmed in Kingston, New York.
Oh, really?
And my friend is a teacher in Kingston in a high school, and I've met some of his students. That shit is totally believable. That I'm sure he's had a student who's killed a kid with a katana, and things have gone south. Maybe they haven't found it out yet.
Dude, some of the dumb stuff I did in junior high and high school, I was like, this easily could have been us.
Right.
Screwing around.
And we would have done the same dumb things and then be riddled with guilt and unravel. It's dark. That title is perfect. It's dark. The first 20 minutes, I heard a lot of people complain it's slow. Why can't anyone build up anything anymore?
The thing is that the movie's slow, but there's this like tension to it. But like I watched it, and one of the reasons it made my list was it stayed with me. That I keep thinking back to it and thinking how impactful it is. And I think if the movie wasn't slow, the ending kind of gets really crazy. And if the whole movie was like that, I don't think it would have worked. I think that 10, 15 minutes of that was all they needed.
Exactly, Jack. Slow is what makes some of these movies work. And people that are complaining about them being slow, I don't think understand what the buildup does that makes the ending so great. You wouldn't have the powerful ending if you didn't have the character building beginning.
And the weird thing is, my favorite character was the mother, a single mother.
Oh yeah.
Her son is everything. She knows something's not right with him, but she loves him unconditionally. She's trying to get something out of him, console him. And he goes between the leader of the pack to calling for mommy when his belly hurts because he's had a bad dream. It was just, man, it just seems so real.
I like the kid who died. He was such a, like,
what a dick.
There was, I think back to my childhood, and there's always like that, you're talking with your friends, like, remember that kid that was there? Who was that? Like, what was that?
Wasn't he slow?
So-and-so's friend or whatever.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like, with those slow burn movies, what's happening in the slow part has to be good. And
100%. Acting has to be on point. Writing has to be good.
And the stuff that was going on there was like, they're trying to cover this thing up. That one kid that was kind of their friend was like,
but they're not professional thieves and professional killers, so they have all these weird emotions.
The kid with the football phone, he's like, why are you calling me?
Yeah, the coolest one in the bunch is the 8th grader.
Good.
I thought it's an excellent movie. It made my list for 2017.
Excellent.
And if you guys want to like live in Baskin where they were, they stayed at the Best Western in Kingston. So you can go there and say, hey, I slept in the same bed as Elizabeth Cappuccino, who has the greatest fucking name of all time. And last but not least, those who are listening on the pods can't see it. I'm holding up Teeth of the Sea by Tim Wagner. I highly suggest this book, not just because I'm on the blurb on the bottom, but because Tim Wagner is a kick-ass writer. Jack, he does a lot of supernatural tie-in novels. He's done the Kingsman tie-ins. He does a lot of movies and stuff. But really, it's by Severed Press. I'll just read it real quick. They glide through dark waters, sleek and silent as death itself, ancient predators with only two desires, to feed and reproduce, like us. They've traveled to the resort island of Las Vegas to do both, and the guests make tempting meals. The humans are on land, though out of reach, but the resort's main feature is an intricate canal system, and it's starting to rain. I was lucky. I got a chance to read this early for Tim so I could do a blurb.
That's a great line, and it's starting to rain.
Yeah, and I'm sure he wrote the copy, so check that out. Teeth of the Sea, Tim Wagner. You will dig it.
Excellent.
And guess what? Because I was drinking a lot before the show, I got to pay. So you guys talk.
Okay, Jason. Well, now you can go, and you don't have to hear his wise-ass comments.
Nope, I won't say a thing. You're good.
Well, I'm going to go really fast because he just took a quarter of the podcast. So, all right. I watched a show on Netflix that I don't remember who in the chat told us to watch this, but it was
Hunter
The End of the Fucking World. And man, this show is so good. And it's so short and brief and concise. And I absolutely loved it. After the end of the first episode, I thought, this is interesting. I like it. I don't love it the way everyone has said, but I'm interested enough to keep watching it. 1 or 2 more episodes in, I'm hooked. I just blasted through the whole thing one go, and it's excellent. Anyone looking for something to watch on Netflix that's just a little bit longer than a movie, this is your jam.
So I'll be the next one on this show, like in a week or two, to be like, okay, I watched this and I loved it. So I haven't watched it yet. I'm looking forward to it.
The acting is phenomenal. These two, I want to call them kids, but the woman is like 25, but she looks like she's 12. They're great. It works really well. Then I watched another miniseries on Netflix called Dead Set, which it's been on my watch list forever. I actually thought it was a series. That's why I never watched it, because I didn't have the time. But when I found out it was a miniseries, I blasted through that too. About 20 minutes an episode or so, and I think there's 6 or 8 episodes. So again, it doesn't take that long. This is about a zombie apocalypse happening while the show Big Brother is going on, and the people inside the show locked in the house don't know what's happening. I
gotta watch that. I've heard about this before. It's been on my radar, but I forgot the name of it.
Dead Set on Netflix. So this was really well done. There is some killer gore in this, particularly at the end when things, as they always do in zombie stuff. It's just incredibly well done. It's a unique idea about people not knowing what's happening as all this stuff goes down. They have a pretty secure place to stay. They're in a decent situation as far as being in the zombie apocalypse could go. if I had one complaint, it's that I am so zombied out at the moment that I'm watching this thinking, this is really well done. This is really good. I'm not in love with it. And it's not even the show's fault. I've seen too much bad zombie stuff lately, I think. And yeah, but if you're still in the zombie mood, if you're loving it, definitely check out Dead Set. It's a short watch, 1 or 2 days, you'll crush it if you binge it. And I liked it.
I didn't not even realize that was on Netflix. They do not serve up thumbnails telling me all the good stuff that's on there like they should be.
I think the thumbnail of this is like a guy with a handlebar mustache. No zombie stuff. It's a terrible thumbnail.
Beefsteak Charlie.
Okay,
Jack
so I just looked it up.
Site.
There are only 5 episodes. So I think the whole thing is a little under 2.5 hours. So it's a long movie. And you're done. Then I also watched a movie that I thought was going to be a horror movie. It was actually a thriller, so I'll be super brief with it. It's FX from 1986.
Oh, yeah.
What, Brian Brown? Is that
Brian
his name?
Dennehy and Brian Brown. Yes, you are correct.
Mm.
That was a fun movie.
Great.
I liked it.
Yeah.
It was a cool idea. Just the CIA or FBI, I think it was the FBI, hires a special effects guru from right off a film set practically to pretend murder a mobster and to change his identity. So they want this to look real and they want cameras around. So when he pretend gets shot, it looks real and it plays. And then once he does that, the FBI immediately tries to kill him and he has to go on the run and use his special effects prowess to try to escape the feds and the mobster. And it's fun. If you like 80s thrillers, this is good. This is a cut above most. I dug the hell out of it. That was on Amazon Prime.
I saw that in the theater in the 80s.
Me too. With my family. That was a family event.
That was the first time I saw it.
That was one of the first movies where I went to like a multiplex and we like saw a movie, then we went into another movie.
Ooh.
So I think I saw like that and then like the second half of The Color Purple.
What a combo.
All right. I'm done. I'm good.
All right. So I watched this movie on Netflix, which I had been wanting to watch for a while, but I didn't feel like paying for it. And I waited it out and it showed up on Netflix. It's a James Franco movie called The Vault. And
I've not heard good things. That's why I haven't watched it yet.
Hashtag me too.
It's actually a pretty entertaining movie.
Really? Wow.
It's basically a bank heist movie in a haunted bank. And this is kind of going back to, it's not quite the Amityville level of, it's not a great movie, but it's a good Netflix watch. There's a couple of things that they maybe don't stick the landing, but there's plenty of good stuff in the movie that is definitely worth watching. The 2 lead girls are awesome. And one of them is beautiful and very odd looking. So like every time he showed her, I was like, wow, she's hot, but she's kind of weird hot.
Did he make her take her merkin off?
What?
Oh, you haven't heard what's been going on with him. I'll let that go.
Oh, so anyway, it's a Netflix movie. It's decent. It's worth checking out. I think if I had seen it in the theater or if I had paid like $7 to watch it, I would have been like, eh. But for a Netflix flick, it's good.
Cool.
I watched a movie called Mom and Dad with Nicolas Cage. I told you guys about it.
I watched that too. I was just saving it for next week.
I want to save it for next week. So
it's on my list, so that's awesome.
Okay, so we'll talk a little bit more at the end, but Mom and Dad with Nick Cage is next week's movie.
It's Selma Blair.
Selma Blair.
Hellboy.
So last night I'm like, oh, I need to watch something else then because one of the movies I watched doesn't count this week. So I'm going through, what do I want to watch? I don't know. I went old school and I watched The Howling.
The original?
The original Howling is on Shudder now.
Nice.
I have not watched this movie in, I don't know, 15 years, 20 years. It's been a long time. I watched it a couple of times when it first came out, like in the video store days or when it was on HBO or whatever. And I never really revisited it because just in my head, I knew all the parts. I had a blast rewatching this movie and I forgot so much of it. Dee Wallace in her prime is just this adorable, troubled woman who goes to a Northern California retreat because of some trauma she's gone through with her husband, the poor man's Tom Skerritt, and ends up in a werewolf colony. And it kind of cracks me up at how simple this movie is. There's really not a werewolf until like halfway through the movie.
Yeah, but when they get there, it's freaking awesome. And it's got John Carradine.
John Carradine and Slim Pickens are in it.
Dude, that's all you need.
It's got one of the great werewolf sex scenes in it by the fire. And what I forgot was at the conclusion of that, the two people are hooking up by the fire, scratching each other, turning into werewolves. And then there's this like far shot of the fire, and it is pretty much a cartoon of like, oh my God. And then the one scene I really remembered was Dee Wallace is in like an office, and this werewolf guy corners her, and he turns into a werewolf with all the effects and stuff like that. This was right after American Werewolf in London. This was like the next werewolf movie. And at the time, it was like groundbreaking special effects. And now you're like, wow, they were really in love with like latex and airbags. And there's a clear like jump cut where it goes from the guy's face with makeup to a like mannequin head that they're manipulating. Yep. And the thing that cracks me up is it takes them so long to turn into werewolves that I'm like, if you weren't a werewolf and you just tried to kill this person with a knife, you would have done it a lot faster and efficiently.
Or you could just walk away at a brisk pace and be safe.
Yeah. But
I have a thing I want to do. I want to watch every Howling movie in a row and host an event.
Like, that would be great.
I think there's like 8 of them. No, I really do. But it's just like you start in the morning, and then by the afternoon when they get really shitty, just the alcohol flows, and you just go from morning till night. That's one of my goals.
Rent like the Alamo or the Avon or something, and do an event. That'd be amazing.
That'd be.
Have you seen Howling 7?
I've only seen a couple of them.
I don't think it's ever been released on DVD. It's something.
Amazon Prime has all but one.
It's probably that one.
I think I've only seen this one and the Christopher Lee one.
Oh my God, you've missed so much, my friend.
Well, I had a blast. I've been like looking for this movie, and for a while it was hard to find and everything. And so when I looked it up last night, I was like, oh, and man, this is why I want Shudder. I want more movies like this that I haven't seen it in ages. I can go back and watch it and really enjoy it. My last thing, and then we can get to the main feature. There's a new TV show called The Alienist on. I think it's on TNT. Mm-hmm. It's got Dakota Fanning, what's his name? Luke Evans, and I can't remember the actor's name. He was the Baron Zemo in Civil War.
That's based on the Caleb Carr novel, right?
I think so. It's based on a novel. I don't know if that's the author. Knowing You, it is. Ted Levine's in it too.
Oh, cool.
It's a period piece. It's very Jack the Ripper feeling, 1800s New York.
A lot of Menzies.
What?
It's a lot of Menzies. You said it's a period piece.
Oh, Jesus.
Never mind.
Jesus Christ.
I had to go there.
Anyway, a little boy is found murdered on the one of the bridges, and he's dressed like a woman or dressed like a girl. And the investigation, this is kind of one of those get into the mind of a serial killer thing, and it's got the first episode. I enjoyed it, so I've got it on DVR, and I'm gonna watch it and see how it plays out. So, but it's got a good vibe to it. Dakota Fanning's pretty impressive. She plays like the first woman in the NYPD, and she's pretty like steadfast and all that. So,
oh, okay, cool.
So worth a look. Hopefully, I think it's a mini series. So that's what I'm watching. So with that, why don't we take a visit down to Cell Block 99, guys?
Let's go. Let's go to the Red Leaf Prison.
Okay. So I'd heard a lot about this movie in putting together lists of your favorite movies last year. This started to show up right at the end on some people's lists. So I watched the trailer and I'm like, huh. And then I finally got around to it. I guess when it showed up on Prime, I was like, oh, no brainer now. And I'll just recap it. It's essentially a former boxer loses his job, goes back to work running drugs for a guy that he used to work for. Is he an ex-con too? I can't remember. Probably.
I don't think they said.
Yeah, I think they said it was his first offense at one point. So no,
He's got a history with this drug dealer, but he got out of the business and he goes back in. He and his wife are sort of trying to mend their marriage. He is a kind of a guy who has a rage underneath his exterior and takes it out. He picks his spots to release his rage. Vince Vaughn, bald, jacked, and stoic. Once he starts running drugs, things go south, and it ends up heading towards a brawl in Cell Block 99. I don't know.
There we go.
If that's enough.
The title did not disappoint. You know what? That was the synopsis for the movie. Vince Vaughn has a brawl in Cell Block 99.
Basically.
Boom.
Gatsby was great. So, what did you think? One of you.
Go ahead, Jason.
All right. I had never even heard of this movie until you sent that email saying we need to watch it for this. So I was like, all right, I'll check it out. And then when I saw who the director was, I was instantly sold. And for those of you who have never seen Bone Tomahawk, you won't quite understand this, but this guy's name is S. Craig Zoller, I guess is how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, he's a huge writer before he became a director.
I think he did. Did he do Westerns or something? I think he did.
He wrote Westerns, crime, sci-fi. He got a Spur Award for Congregation of Jackals. I mean, he was a great writer.
Well, he's writing great scripts. So anyway, if you haven't seen Bone Tomahawk, I'm just telling you now, go watch that film. It's a Kurt Russell Western, horror Western. It is phenomenal. Everyone needs to see it. But as soon as I heard this guy did this movie, I'm in. I'd only seen one of his films. I think he'd only done one film, Bone Tomahawk.
This is his second.
It's unbelievable what this guy has managed to do in such a short period of time. But I thought this movie was outstanding. I thought Vince Vaughn was the shit in this. One of the better performances of his career, if not the best. And I love that this movie actually used how goddamn big Vince Vaughn is. The guy is 6'5", and I feel like they play it down in his comedies because I think sometimes people don't want a comedian who's towering over someone, like physically imposing. But the dude is huge, and he definitely de-bloated himself for this role. It looked like he'd been filled with helium there for a while, but he's looking good, and he is a badass in this role. And this is basically a one-man show. I mean, there's a bunch of little characters, but they don't have a lot of play in the movie compared to him. It's basically just Vince Vaughn doing the stoic performance and whooping some ass, and I loved it.
With bit parts from Don Johnson,
who's great.
The wife is played by the Dexter's sister. I can't remember.
Jennifer Carpenter.
Yeah.
Who needs a meal? I hope this movie gave her enough money to freaking eat, because Jesus Christ. I mean, I watched this movie. I said she needs a counselor. This is a cry for help. And it's seeing her tiny little 80-pound frame next to a giant, angry-looking Vince Vaughn with a cross tattooed on his skull.
Somehow every episode turns into Hunter Shea's quest to feed Hollywood.
It is, because they're too damn thin. Look like women, for crying out loud. I like a woman.
Eat, Papa. Eat. Nobody wants to think.
Fuck Rudolph. I'd heard of this movie, and I wanted to see it, I think, like in October. And when I first saw it, and I was like, oh my God, I really got to watch this movie, because I love Vince Vaughn. And I know that he can act in serious roles, but he's forgotten it the last 15 years or so. I thought he was phenomenal. He was like a freaking superhero. When he tore that car apart, when he found out that his wife was cheating on him, that was fucking unbelievable. It's a long movie. It's over 2 hours. It's a 70s exploitation prison grindhouse movie. It's all the stuff I love combined, just rolled into this fucking hot mess of an awesome movie. You just sit and wait for him to snap, and he has a moral code, so everything he's doing is for a reason. He doesn't just stomp. First of all, it's all about head stomping. Nobody has stomped more heads than Bradley in this movie.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
It's stomped heads and just dislocated limbs. You just sit and you wait, and these long moments of waiting for him to get to the next level. It's kind of like a video game. It's like he's got to get to this level and this level. Unbelievable. My wife and I are watching this at 11:30 at night and just going, "Oh, whoa!" Like we're screaming out loud watching this. And I can't remember a movie that's made me do this at home ever. I freaking love this movie. I thought it hit every note just right.
All right, so this movie, naturally, I watched it and I emailed you guys immediately. I was like, this is our next movie. This movie to me felt like a Tarantino or a Robert Rodriguez movie without the kind of humorous edge to it. There's some humor in it, but it doesn't have the more blatant sense of humor that something like a Pulp Fiction or Reservoir Dogs.
And without stroking yourself over your ability to make dialogue that goes on forever.
Yes. There were definitely moments, though, that felt they were right out of the double feature Grindhouse. And then there was other, like, it went from, like, literally like a prison drama to 15 minutes from Grindhouse and then back to this drama, this quiet human drama. And then, like, fight scenes were just batshit. And then they would go back to, and it fascinated me. I was like, wow. And his deliberate way of fighting was just so entertaining to watch. It was just like, yeah, you're like, a fly, and it's just a matter of time before I'm just going to get you.
It's as awkward as a 6'5" guy would fight. Because they're not going to be all that fluid. I mean,
it's almost like Andre the Giant in Princess Bride when he's just fighting all the guys.
You're right.
The fight scenes were so well done. I just want to get everyone in Hollywood and point them at this guy and just tell them, this is how you do a fight scene. I don't want to be able to tell that it's a stunt double. I don't want to see a 6'5" guy doing kick flips off the wall. And I don't want you to make it look like a fight scene in the edits. I want to see the choreography. I want to see his face as he's throwing punches and getting hit and doing all that stuff. And he really let the camera linger. God knows how long it took them to work on these fight scenes, but they looked phenomenal and it made them feel really visceral, really intense.
As someone who's been in quite a few fights, you kind of try to stand your ground. You stand tall. You're not fucking Jackie Chan when you're in a brawl. You're kind of standing as tall as you can. You're throwing your punches. Now in real life, 1 or 2 punches, fight's over. Somebody's crying, something's broken, it's over. But I thought it's pretty realistic. I know people who watch this are complaining about the fight scenes, but they're so used to fake Hollywood fighting that they don't understand. I think we need to start kicking some ass. Why did the three of us go on the road, actually fucking fight people and show this is how fights really are? So how about this?
That's what we need. Me getting my ass kicked.
Look, you're 6 foot what? You're bigger than me and 6'3", dude. You're like Vince Vaughn already.
You're 6'3". My God,
I'm just freaking swole too.
Stand there and fucking fight.
Yeah, I just need to go on the road and get my ass kicked. That would be great. I love this.
I'd love it. Let's do it, man.
I have a friend who's a fireman, and he's like that tall, and he's huge. And if I tried to fight him, that's what it would be like. He would just like assert, like, he's not dexterous or anything like that, but he would just like grab you and throw you down and take care of you.
One thing I learned in the 80s, no matter how big they are, their balls are all in the same place. Just go right for it.
Except Star Trek 6. Not if all the genitals are in the same place.
You hit them in the balls, and as they start to crouch down, you get them in the nose, and you just walk away.
There you go. I will say the supporting cast was very good, though, because everybody had bit parts or whatever, but the relationship with his wife I thought was great. It was fun to see Don Johnson in it at the end.
Oh, I loved it.
And so good.
Some of the bad guys were right out of the bad guy handbook. Like, it was
The best part is the director Vince Vaughn and Don Johnson did another movie together right after this.
Oh, they did. What was it?
Yep, something about scraping on concrete or something like that. So get ready. It sounds like it's going to be similar.
So Vince Vaughn was in season 2 of True Detective, which was a disappointment, but he did okay with the material he was given. It's just the material wasn't that great.
All the actors in that were good. Yeah, it's just the writing was terrible.
So you could see it there. But yeah, he's so different than from Swingers or Old School or Wedding Crashers.
No, I think he's found his groove now because he's a dangerous, angry, weird-looking dude when you shave that hair off or take the toupee off. I don't know what they did, but he looked great.
You want to get to spoilers?
Sure.
Oh wait, before we go to spoilers, do you want to know? Anyone want to guess what the box office was for this? I don't know the number.
It came out in the theater.
It did. $7,144.
Wow.
Most of it from the UK and Saudi Arabia.
Okay, so it's like a 3-theater thing.
Yeah, and then they just released it on demand.
Oh,
so it's amazing. This guy's producing great movies and not making any money. So I'm worried that they're going to cut him off eventually.
Well, he must have made enough on Bone Tomahawk. I think Bone Tomahawk was only video on demand too. So I don't know. Somehow he's getting really good stars to make these movies for what can't be much money. I mean, these are not big budgeted films.
This movie's getting a lot of buzz on VOD though, so that's a whole market. So here's
your aspect ratio. This was different from Bone Tomahawk. This was 185 to 1. Yeah, this would have filled your entire TV. Whereas Bone Tomahawk was a Western, so we shot it like ultra wide, probably 235 to 1 or so. Gives you that nice cinematic feel, whereas this was much more enclosed. So I'm telling you, this guy knows what he's doing.
235 to 1.
He's a good filmmaker.
Wow. Everybody just signed off in the chat room or fell asleep. Amazing.
I'm getting tons of emails right now about my knowledge.
I wish I could check the chat room, but my keys are making too much noise.
I'm going to look.
So anyway, I'm done. We can go into spoilers.
The one thing I will always remember this movie is for that saying I said earlier, south of okay, north of cancer. I might use this every time anyone asks me how I'm doing.
I'm stealing it for sure.
It's awesome. What a great, and you know what? A great line comes from a great writer. Jason and I wouldn't know what that is, but we can appreciate it when we see it.
I just steal my best stuff.
Okay, so from now till the end of the show, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about the movie and all the details and such, so you've been warned. One thing I loved was he does this kind of thing several times in the movie, but when he gets to the shithole prison where they throw him in this like feces covered, and then they give him food, and he goes, "Excuse me, but is there like a dining room or something? I can't eat in here. There's feces in here." Like these guys are going to cater to him. It was just the way he asked it was so funny.
There's an earnestness to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He has a code he works by, and he's kind of polite, and he's very direct and still. One thing Vince Vaughn has never been is still, and it was great to watch him just stand there and just take in the moment and just deliver a short, concise line.
He didn't say earmuffs once, though.
No. I thought he was great, and I thought the ending blew me away. Absolutely blew me away.
No, me too. Honestly, if I had one complaint about this director, it's not a complaint. It's just I'm a puss. Sometimes the end of his movies are so intense. I'm watching this like, do I want to continue to watch this? Because his movies always ramp up. So I'm like, holy shit, there's 30 minutes left. Like, what in God's name is going to happen at the end of this? And it gets right to the point where it's almost so much I want to stop the movie. But at the end, I'm always happy I didn't. But his filmmaking is so effective, it like really gets to me.
I was so happy because when he's in that cell in the Red Leaf prison, and it's got a cot and a literal hole in the wall for shitting. And when I saw that, I go, I hope someone's head ends up in that fucking hole. And when it does, I'm like, yes, you read my mind.
When Don Johnson asks him, "What are you doing in there?" He says, "Oh, I'm executing so and so." He just says it like he's just.
I still have 30 seconds.
There's still 30 seconds.
There was an old code of the West going on here where, okay, you have told me what your intentions are. You've given me a time frame. I will allow this, and then I will come in at said time, and I will exact whatever punishment I have to do, and I will accept whatever punishment. It's a fucking Western, right down. It's Bone Tomahawk Part 2, just set in modern times.
Yep.
Oh my God.
The
I can't say enough good things about it.
The interesting thing is that everything he does, like you said, was for a purpose. So the reason he gets to prison and is not getting punished that bad because it's his first offense, and he defended a cop when he was in a shootout with these drug dealers. He takes out the drug dealers who were shooting at the cops, goes to jail. But then the drug dealers threaten his wife. And so basically he has to get to cell block 99 in order to save his wife's baby.
Who is going to have her baby? There's a Japanese Chinese abortionist who is going to cut its limbs off in the womb so it's born without limbs.
So everything he is doing is to save his wife and baby, because he basically has to willingly send himself to hell on Earth. And he has to make decisions like, okay, I'm in the yard now with these like neo-Nazi weightlifting psychos, and I have to go start with them because that's going to get me, if I survive this fight, it's going to get me to cell block 99. Like, it just, he keeps doing it, like, ah.
And I love he does it without hesitation.
Oh yeah.
There was just, and I tell any men who come to visit my daughters, I tell them all the time, I said, if you fuck them over, my greatest goal in life is to have 3 hots and a cot and all the sex I can handle. So if you're going to give me that opportunity, I'm going to take it. And I just actually told this to one of their boyfriends last weekend.
From now on, when they come over, you should just have this movie playing in the background.
Oh, I
just
should
to set the ambiance.
Your next
tattoo call me Bradley.
Your next tattoo should be the cross on the back of your head.
I gotta shave my damn head. You're right. I got to do this.
When he gets coupled with the drug dealers, I love how that all unfolded, because there's tension between him and one of them in particular, and then they go and do their thing, and the whole thing just starts to fall apart, and you can just feel the trouble coming. And then when the shootout, the cops come and all that other stuff, that whole scene is very well done and memorable. I really enjoyed, and again, watching him fight in that situation where he's like kind of resigned to like, oh crap, I have to.
Yeah,
like you said, he's got a code and he's got to do it. But then he when he executes it, like he goes underwater, comes up the other side against the guy.
And nothing's ever easy either. It's not like he does things and there's never a setback. I mean, he's always struggling.
He's always pulling shrapnel or glass out of his body.
And he can take a fucking punch. Holy cow.
And I like his solution for the shocker. When the shocker belt uses
that shock belt is ridiculous. Thinking of putting that on my wife. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and then the ending. Look. First of all, who gets their like face ripped off?
Oh, he drags that guy's face across the ground. Holy cow!
That right there, that was when I was like, "Oh, this is definitely our movie."
Yeah.
And then that whole like that last 5 minutes or whatever, you're just like,
whoa. There was a point where I'm sitting there to the end going, "Oh my god, I can't wait for another movie with Bradley." I really was excited about that. And then it happened, and I was like, all right, I'll buy that too. I'm just as happy.
Actually, the very last shot, the prosthetic used in that it didn't look very good. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, it looked like something out of a medical lab, like a fake fucking skeleton.
I was like, what happened here? That wasn't so good.
But that's what I was talking about, where it would go from like this prison drama to a scene out of Grindhouse. So that made me think of when in the Kurt Russell when he's driving the car and the girl gets her face like hit with the tire or whatever.
Oh, on Death Proof?
Yeah, Death Proof. Like that was like right out of that. And then,
Yeah, they just figure it's only going to be for half a second. Fucking just put whatever. It doesn't matter. I can understand.
But that's what made that movie just not just another movie. That's like its signature. It's like it's this slow burn drama that's like you watch 15, 20 minutes of character development and then some balls crazy scene. He destroys a car, which is awesome. the drug dealer scene or whatever. And they keep giving you this little, satiations of, okay, here's some action. And then it goes back to the character piece. And it's freaking 2 hours long. And so it takes an hour and 45 minutes to get the cell block 99 or whatever. And it's worth the wait because you enjoy your whole way there.
It didn't feel that long to me.
No.
To me, it breezed. I mean, I wanted more. Believe it or not, I wanted more.
I was about spent. When it was over, I was like, okay, I'm ready to take a nap.
Yeah, it was like midnight when I finished. And I still wanted more. And I normally don't stay up past 10.
The most satisfying deaths in a long time when the abortionist and the other guy get shot by the wife.
Oh my God. With a gun that her little chicken arms can barely handle.
So good. So it sounds like we all enthusiastically recommend this movie.
Jack, I love you for telling us to watch this. So God bless you, Jack Campisi.
I'm here for
a
you.
good choice.
And I think you're going to be happy with next week's choice as well.
Mom and Dad.
Mom and Dad. A family movie.
I love the title.
But we'll see. Maybe not.
Yeah. Maybe I'll be the dissenter.
Okay. Well, that seems like we've come to the end of yet another hard-fought episode of Final Guys. Hunter, you've faced adversity and made it.
I was not going to be locked out, damn it. I did research this time. I looked at box office numbers.
The thing that sucks is if you have to miss an episode because of life, that happens. But when you're like, okay, I've got the time and I can do it, and it's just...
And I was preloading.
Yeah.
I was knocking back shots of tequila and beer just so I could be here and just deal with you two assholes.
I wonder how drunk people got.
I can't look at YouTube's. How'd it go,
I
guys?
never said heist. I said nominated and I said jail.
Looks like there was 14 drinks so far up until just now. Now there's like 37.
Enough to cause your liver to cry. So, good job.
All right. Well, with that, why don't we bid adieu? Everybody, thanks for the folks in the finalists, as Hunter dubbed them last week, the cult. Thanks for everybody in the chat room. Thanks for preemptively. Thank you.
We forgot one thing.
What?
I put a poll up on our Facebook page, and people could talk about Vince Vaughn.
You're right. That was awesome. What do you got?
I can't look at it because I can't type because Jason would be mad at me.
Hold on. I'll find it.
Yeah, I'm on it.
All right.
Hurry, because I got to pee again. I have a bladder the size of a Bazinji nut.
How much front loading were you doing?
A 6-pack in an hour.
Wow.
Ay.
And tequila.
Okay. So the question was, if you were Vince Vaughn's agent, what would you tell him to do? More comedies or being a badass like he is in Cell Block 99? And we got some interesting stuff. Scott Newman said he completely disappears in this role, so I would tell him to continue to play against type. Brian Brant, my genius brother, said, I think he should exclusively make sequels to Psycho. Paul Boris said, I tell him not to do World War II movies where everyone stands up straight and down and shoots from the hip.
That's right.
He stood straight up and down and punched from the hip in this one.
What was that called? Hacksaw Ridge?
Hacksaw Ridge, yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet.
Good flick. Second half of that movie's awesome.
Apparently Paul Boris did not agree. And Sheridan Bradford says, keep him in solitary, mainly because the only thing I find funny about Vince Vaughn is that he managed to keep finding work as a comedian.
Oh,
Sheridan doesn't like Danny McBride, so
yeah,
Sheridan. That's true.
That's it. We're not going to drinking game.
We're not going to read your book, damn it.
Speaking of Danny McBride, real quick, because Sheridan said he doesn't think he's funny. There is a sequel to Crocodile Dundee being teased, where Danny McBride plays the son of Crocodile Dundee. There's teaser trailers out right now. Chris Hemsworth is in one. There's two of them. They've already got me. I don't know if this is an actual movie or some like Super Bowl commercial stunt, but it seems like it's the real thing, and the two spots are hilarious. So
I'm in. All right, everybody. I will post a new question on Facebook tomorrow, and then we will read your answers next week. So tune in there on Facebook, Final Guys, and then you can be famous, at least on the YouTubes and the iTunes.
People can drink when they hear your name.
That's right. Damn it.
Okay, with that, we're signing off. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget to share and like and all that good stuff. See you next week.
Stomp some heads!
Bye.
Down in the 9-9.